2020 was a heck of a year for all of us. It forced a lot of us into working from home, remote working, and honestly, we were lucky because not a lot of change happened in our day-to-day working world.
Yeah.
We're definitely lucky that we didn't have to be thrust into it all of a sudden, because it was definitely a journey for us, and it definitely took a lot of transition time from a traditional in-office job to a digital remote working job.
Yes.
So we just wanted to go kind of over our story of how we went from a traditional job to now our business being completely remote, and just how kind of the last year has affected things, and like financial stuff and just everything. Today's video is sponsored by H&R Block. This video will go into some of the financial end of our business, and they are sponsoring this video. We love partnering with them. We use them for our taxes. They have amazing tax help. You can do it from any device, anywhere, and you can do it in person. But they also have virtual in-person help as well, so you can chat in real time with the tax expert. You can always get additional help if you need it, and it's great because it's just given us that second layer of peace of mind, being able to do it on my own timeline from home, but then also, since we are self-employed and the financials get a little crazy, having that tax expert there to help me if I have any questions. You can even like screen share your computer while you're filing your taxes, so that way they can see like where you need help and what questions you have on what part of filing your taxes. So it's really great. There's also a link down in the description for 20% off if you want to switch over to H&R Block to do your taxes for the 2020 year. I know 2020 again threw us some curveballs tax-wise, but they like right when you sign up, it's the first page that comes up. We know you have questions about everything that happened, so they are totally versed in all of the changes because of the pandemic, and they're there to help you. So go check them out. But when we started our business, I was a news producer, and you were working a couple random jobs.
Yeah. So I guess you could say I've never worked a traditional like 9 to 5. I've always kind of done just random jobs, trying to find what was the path for me.
We just wanted to explore more. We wanted to travel more. And this was like way back, you guys, like very like back in the beginning when we first started daily vlogging even. And we just wanted an adventure, and we wanted to adventure more. And we were young, and we didn't have many responsibilities, and we were like, this is the perfect time. And then you brought up like, why don't we live in a van? And at first I was like, you are nuts. Like, why are we going to live in a van?
Yeah, it was just something I'd always idealized. I thought it would be a really fun way to live.
And we started like Google searching, and we found, oh, there are people that live in vans, but it was just hard to find because it wasn't on YouTube, it wasn't on Instagram. It was more just like a Google search and like news stories of like,
yeah, it was
so-and-so
still
trades
very
and all
much
stuff.
like the exception. Like I feel like it's become a lot more mainstream now. It feels a little bit more approachable because so many more people are doing it, which I think is awesome, that it feels like so many more people are like, this is something they can do.
Right.
But back at that time, it was very much like there weren't that many people doing it.
I actually got a part-time job working remote for a nonprofit. So I already had that stable income part-time. So that way we could travel and I could still work. And that's probably the majority of people like living the van life. They just work remote. They don't necessarily have to do like social media stuff. It's more like you have a remote job that you can do from anywhere.
Yeah, and there's actually a lot of opportunities for that. There's even like full
Especially
websites especially now. But even before the pandemic, there's entire websites dedicated to like finding remote work. And like for us, so Corbin had that stable income coming in while we were also continuing to build and create through our social media. I think a lot of people don't realize you have to work 2 jobs in the very beginning for quite a long time. But if you're having fun doing it, it's always worth the while, even if it doesn't even amount to what, I don't know.
Right.
You never know.
That just like takes it into like the whole like finances part and like doing your taxes, because so like that after that first year, it's like I just like threw my hands up and I was like, okay, what how do we do our taxes? Like this,
It's so confusing.
the income, and especially like if you've never been self-employed before,
Mm-hmm.
it's just very confusing. So we do use H&R Block, and they have a self-employed section where they basically have different levels of service that you can choose, and we always choose the self-employed one, and it really just walks you through it on, you know, like your 1099 forms and like all your expenses and all of the stuff that you can do to subtract from your tax liability or whatever you have to pay for taxes, your write-offs. So that was super helpful. So with being self-employed, there is a lot that you can write off that's not in a regular job. So we had like just different stuff because we were running a business, but we're also living. So it was just like it's just very confusing. So having the right tax help is super crucial into the success of your business, because you don't want to be paying too much for taxes or too little for taxes. You want to just make sure you're paying the exact correct amount and everything is fine. And it's just also because you're not getting like a normal pay stub. Like when you work a 9 to 5, you're getting a paycheck and a W-2, and they're already taking the taxes out. So it's way more simple. But with us, it was just complicated. That being said, with complicated financials, there are so many positives that come with this alternative lifestyle of working. We get to be together as a family every day. We get to work together every day. We get to go on some amazing adventures. We've been all over the place, and we still have a ton of places that we want to explore. And now with the advancement of like internet technology and just how remote friendly the world has become in the last year, it like opens the door to so many more possibilities and places where we can go.
Definitely. I just really, if this is something like remote work is something you've ever like wanted to do or consider, I definitely recommend checking it out and just trying it for yourself. Because for us, like, to me, my favorite thing about what we do is the freedom we have with our schedule and where we live. And just that alone just opens up so many doors and possibilities in life. So maybe we want to stay put for a while, but maybe we want to like hop around all the time, and we get to choose, which is like so unique to traditional working lifestyles.
That being said, you're not on vacation every day.
No, you're not.
So it takes a lot of willpower to be like, on the beach in Hawaii, oh, I have to get back to this email and do this. So it's like there's trade-offs because you're constantly working, but you get to be in these cool places.
Yeah. So I definitely think self-discipline is a big one when it comes to working remote and for yourself. Finding time to work and the right space to work. So we do work from home, and we have young children, and they do not understand that we are always trying to work. So it can definitely become very complicated and very frustrating trying to find the right space to work.
I'm sure through the pandemic, a lot of parents out there have found this.
Yes, exactly. So you know what the struggle can be like, and that is how it is a lot of the time if you work remote,
so
and that's like the job you choose.
What really helped us was to split up the day. So from like, let's say from like 9 to noon, I'm working and Kelsey's watching the kids, and then like noon to 2, I'm watching the kid. I know we've gone through like iterations of schedules, and we just constantly have to keep shifting and changing. And you just like, if you have a set schedule, like you're gonna change it probably in a couple months because it's not gonna work every day.
The schedule changes all the time, and just trying to like rework it to make it work for whatever's going on in life at that time.
Because we might, like, there's some days where we might have to shoot something early in the morning and then send it over to someone, you know, later in the day, or vice versa. So it's just,
you have to be very flexible.
Very flexible.
So that can be a tough one sometimes, especially when you are like in work mindset, but you're surrounded by distractions. Like finding that flexibility is super, super key.
That's kind of like an overall little bit on the surface of how we went from traditional jobs to remote jobs, and kind of some of the challenges and benefits you're going to see with it. If you guys want more information on it, let us know, and we can do more in-depth videos about it. It's not something we've really ever talked about on our channel, I don't think.
Not much,
but it's just, I think it's just so prevalent today because of everything in the last year that maybe there's things like I don't know, that we've been through already and weren't forced to have to go through them, but now we've been through them. So let us know if you want to see more videos on this. Also, be sure to click that link in the description to get 20% off your H&R Block online. And we'll see you in our next video.
Be where your feet are.